Hi everyone. Good evening. This is Arushi from Coding Ninjas, and I welcome all of you to this live session again. And I hope all of you are doing well. It's a weekend. I mean, for most of you, the weekend must have started yesterday, like Friday night. But for some people like us, we work on Saturdays, so our weekend has not begun yet. But I'm very thrilled to meet you guys. And can I get a thumbs up, or can I get a few comments so that I know that all of you are here and you can listen to me and that my audio video is clear? So today's, so I see Suraj Kumar. Thank you so much. I know that people are here. So today's session is a topic that all of us struggle with a lot, and I'm really excited because we have a very celebrated personality with us today who will be, answering all the questions that you guys sent us. So let's see how that goes. Uh, I am good. Thank you for asking me, guys. I'm good. How are you guys doing? How is everyone's Saturday going? ऑफिस में हो या फिर घर पे हो या पार्टी चल रही है क्या चल रहा है Yeah, even I am looking forward to enjoy the session. I just introduced myself, Shubham. I am Arushi from Coding Ninjas, and I am here to host this on behalf of Coding Ninjas. And so today's topic is interview cracking strategies. So all of you sent us a lot of questions, and there was one, there's a word, the word fear. I mean, we received it from so many of you, and even I would have also sent the same thing because even I struggle with that. So today we have with us a very renowned personality. He's the founder of ThinkSage, Prashant Bhansali, and he's been mentoring students for the last 3 years in their placement process and career coaching. He's also conducted 10 plus career counseling sessions, and also he's an alumnus of IIM Udaipur. And prior to ThinkSage, Prashant has been working on his travel startup, and he has more than 6 years of professional experience. So he will be answering everything for you guys today. So let me add Prashant to the live so that, oh, okay, yeah, 1 second. I see किसी का comment lunch चल रहा है पूरे टाइम lunch ही चलता है. Hi Prashant.
Hi Arushi, hi everyone.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Arushi?
I am good. I introduced you to the audience, but
Super.
you can now tell us about yourself.
Okay. Hi everyone. So my name is Prashant. I have around 8 years of experience, and I'm founder of ThinkSage. A few years back, in 2013, I graduated from VIT University Vellore as a computer science engineer. And at that time, I had no clue that what I'm going to do with my career, because engineering to ho gaya hai, but somehow I was not good at it. And this is where I applied for my MBA and cracked a decent college, did my MBA. But during the entire journey, there was one problem that I faced throughout my 6, 7, 8 years of life, which was how to crack interview. I had a very good percentile in my college. ठीक है भाई, 9
Yeah.
pointer in college, 10, 12
Wow.
में भी अच्छे marks लाए. But when it came to clearing interviews in my college, I used to get rejected every time. So you
Okay.
name a company, I will go there and get rejected. That was my ability. Okay. So
Okay.
it took me around 35 interviews to crack my first job in VIT, because VIT mein, like, we used to get a lot of companies. So I got lucky that there were so many companies. Otherwise, I would have just applied to off campus and again got rejected. Okay. So this is how I got into my first company. I
Hmm.
worked there for 1.5 years and again realized कि boss ये मेरे से नहीं होगा.
Uh,
I had a very good clarity कि भाई ये मेरे बस का नहीं है. ठीक है, there are people
नहीं
who are
होगा.
much smarter than me. ठीक है,
Hmm.
and somewhere I cannot compete with them. even if I do well, but I will never be at the top because this is not
Okay.
something which I love and where I am, expert. So this is
Hmm.
where I gave my CAT and received a decent percentile, and again got rejected in all the B school interviews. Okay.
Okay.
So you again name a decent B school. I was
Huh.
there in the interview and got rejected. Okay,
Oh.
and
Huh.
IIM Udaipur was a blessing in disguise. Okay, it was not a college which was in my priority list, but somehow I got into that college because I had no other converts, to be very honest. Okay, so
Okay.
that was the only
But
convert that I had.
IIM is IIM. I mean,
Yeah, you can call it, but now when I look back, I think that was the best thing that happened with me.
yeah.
Okay, uh, like all those learnings that I received in my college. Okay, that
Hmm.
has helped me immensely. Like I went to my exchange program in
Hmm.
France for 4 months. There I
Okay.
met few of the faculties who were Ivy League profs, okay, God
Oh.
level profs. Okay, those profs, teachers in my own college, they changed my life for good. After my B school days, I've never, like my score has been that I have cleared 19 out of 20 interviews that I have given in the last few years. Okay, अब तो देना
Hmm.
भी बंद हो गया. I have
Hmm.
received hike of 70, 80, 90% बहुत easily मिल जाता है.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's not very difficult, but all those things happened because there was someone who guided me that,
Hmm.
boss, you have good knowledge, but you need to know how to communicate that knowledge in an interview. For example, Arushi, okay, you graduated
Yeah.
from your college. You know
Yeah.
a lot of things. Okay.
Right.
Interviewer, throws a question at you. Okay.
Yeah.
And you want to answer it in your own words. You have a proper understanding that इस question का
Yeah.
answer ऐसे होता है. So
ऐसे
I
लेना
should
है.
answer in this way. But
हाँ.
life is not like that. Okay. Interviewer is expecting something different. We give something different. And this is where there is a communication gap. And you get,
Right.
rejected in the interview.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's
very
how I have learned, the wrong way that you get
yeah.
rejected every time, and somehow luck favors you. कोई एक job मिल जाता है, but
हाँ.
I was
जितनी
lucky.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
no, continue. Sorry. Continue.
I was lucky to get those mentors, and for all of you guys, you may be very good in your functional or technical skills, but you still
Hmm.
need to know how to use these points in your interview. If you don't know these, okay, even if you are a topper, gold medalist, trust
Doesn't
me,
matter.
आपको नहीं लगेगा कि यार
हाँ.
उसका जॉब लग गया, मेरा जॉब नहीं लगा यार. I was
नहीं.
way better
हाँ.
than that person. Like, do you guys ever feel this?
जितनी बार आपने बोला है ना कि यू वर बीइंग रिजेक्टेड इंटरव्यूज में उतनी बार आई आई सी कमेंट्स सेम सेम हियर लोग कमेंट कर दे कैन रिलेट अच्छा तो हमने कल अपने इंस्टाग्राम पे लोगों से पूछा कि क्या चैलेंजेस वो लोग फेस करते हैं इंटरव्यू देने के पहले या इंटरव्यू के दौरान तो सबसे जो मोस्ट कॉमन आंसर जो हमें मिला वो एक वर्ड था विच वाज फियर आई मीन एवरी सो मेनी मतलब 50+ आंसर्स होंगे जिसमें सिर्फ फियर लिखा था सो आई जस्ट टेल यू फियर ओवर थिंकिंग सेल्फ डाउट यू नो बिफोर गोइंग फॉर द इंटरव्यू और जब इंटरव्यू चल भी रहा है तो हाउ डू यू डील विद दीज थिंग्स
I think it also captures my own feelings when I used to give interviews. He, you know, I had this self doubt that if I go into that interview hall, I'm going to get rejected. This is for sure. Okay.
हाँ
Even if you know things, you will always feel this. Okay. There are two reasons for this. Okay. Number one, uh, we don't trust the other person, the company or the interviewer who has selected you. So
राइट
let's look at the numbers, guys. Okay. There were like 100 people or 500 people who applied for that job, right? But
ओके
only 20 of those people or 50 of those people were eventually called for the interview.
राइट
Right? Only few selected people are called for the interviews, right? Not everyone
राइट
gets it.
या
So
ट्रू
if 50 of those people are selected for that role, that means that company has already seen something in you,
राइट या
right? ऐसा तो नहीं है ना कि कुछ भी randomly एक काम करो, राम श्याम रमेश को बुला लो, बाकी सबको भेज दो, या फिर जिसका भी मोबाइल नंबर एंड इस नंबर से होगा, उसको बुला लो, ऐसा तो नहीं
हाँ,
होगा, राइट?
ऐसा तो नहीं है, नहीं.
They have scouted through hundreds and thousands of resumes, and they have selected you for that role. It means
Yeah.
you have all the right skill sets and all the right technical skills that are required for that role. That
Yeah.
is number one. So we often forget that. We believed
Hmm.
that it was just a luck that we were called for that interview. Like,
Yeah.
am I making sense, guys? Do you
Huh.
feel something like that? Just comment yes or no in in your
You
comment
can
section.
you can read the comments, right?
Yeah, I can read the comments.
Yeah.
Do you feel so okay? I mean, before even going to the interview, you feel that you are not qualified for that role. Do you feel so?
I definitely do. I'm waiting for someone to answer.
They only want to answer your question, I guess. Light के opposite
Yes,
point.
yes, yes. बोल रहे हैं लोग, yes.
Let me change my position. I hope. Is it okay? Who was that person?
It was,
ठीक है?
yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot of people are answering yes.
So this is what I used to feel. Before even going into the interview hall, I used to declare that I am going to get rejected. I am not fit for that role. So
Hmm.
you have already, decided the result or the outcome before even, trying the interview. And this is
Yeah.
where you lose your first battle. वो
Hmm.
कॉन्फिडेंस का 50-60% तो पहले ही आधा
पहले
हो
कम
जाता
हो गया.
है, ठीक है.
हाँ.
The next part is, okay, you get into that interview hall. The interviewer
Hmm.
is asking you a few questions. You are able to answer those questions. Suddenly he asks you a surprise, ki, acha Arushi, can you tell me
Hmm.
something that is not in your resume? And you
हाँ.
were like, I
Black.
didn't prepare for
हाँ.
this question.
Right.
So the next point is, see, what ideally you are doing in that interview hall is you are talking about your life,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
Whatever you have done in your college, in your internship, you are just talking about those things.
Yeah.
And I can write this on paper. And if somebody disagrees, please do let me know. I will accept
Hmm.
my defeat. There is no one better than you who can talk about yourself.
True. Absolutely right.
You have lived your life. I
Yeah.
cannot tell कि आरुषि आपने कोडिंग निंजा में क्या किया या फिर आपने अपने इंटर्नशिप में क्या किया.
Hmm.
There is no one in the entire world who can talk about these things in a better way than Arushi or than Hemlata, than Rishik or Abhi or anyone who is today attending the session. You know
Hmm.
about your life better than anyone else in the entire world.
Right.
But the problem is you don't you know think about those things. So for example, if I ask you कि boss
Hmm.
आपने 3 दिन पहले क्या किया, for example, let me take an example. Mahesh, आपने 3 दिन पहले क्या किया, can you tell me? Mahesh Sandbag, can you tell me what did you do 3 days back? Or Piyush, tell me what did you do 3 days back? Do you remember those things? Yes or no? Just tell me yes or no. उतना भी चलेगा. Arushi, you tell me, like, what did you do 3 days back?
3 days back, so today's a Friday. I was working is one I remember. I was in office, but I don't exactly remember what exactly I was doing, but I was working, then went back home, the usual routine. That's what I remember.
Right?
Someone
So,
saying I had a party.
superb, Shanu, and you didn't call me. That's really sad. Anyway, so the whole idea is if you don't remember what happened 3 days back, how would you remember that what happened to you in your first year or second year or third year?
True.
And if the interviewer asks you questions on those things, you won't be able to answer.
Yeah.
So interview is more about preparation,
Hmm.
knowing about your experience and writing it on paper so that you
Yeah.
remember it. Okay. For example,
Right.
if somebody tells me that Prashant, what did you do in your first company, in your
Hmm.
first project? I will remember those things because now I've written all those things on a piece of paper or
Yeah.
on a document on my laptop. So whenever there is an interview, I will just go through them and I will recall कि अच्छा ये सब किया था मैंने,
Hmm.
right? Once I do this, I'm much more prepared. Now, if the interviewer asks me, boss, what did you do in your first project? I will be much more confident to talk about that.
Right.
So, interview is less about, being very fluent in the interview or being
Yeah.
too confident. You get confidence when you are prepared. You are you are just going to go there and talk about yourself, and you are still not prepared. This is
Yeah.
quite funny.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned the word fluent, now it's all connected. So
Yeah.
I'll use another bunch of replies that said about communication skills. If you're not fluent, I mean, what? How are you being judged on your language, on your fluency, or you are hesitant in even taking the interview? Giving the interview because you are not confident in the fluency of the language or whatever. You have a problem with the language.
Right.
So, how do you deal with that situation?
Okay. Like, it's a very interesting question. So I
Yeah.
come from Rajasthan. Okay. My
Ah,
mother tongue is Marwadi.
okay.
Okay. I speak in Marwadi at my home whenever I speak to my
Ah,
parents. And the problem with most of the Rajasthani people is we have this accent issue. ठीक है वो थोड़ा मारवाड़ी टोन आ ही जाता है.
ah,
We have to accept this. We come from different parts of India and we have our mother tongue, and उसकी वजह से there will be some problems in the accent.
yeah,
The problem is we have this picture that we need to be someone like Brad Pitt or some
yeah,
Angelina Jolie to crack interviews. कि
yeah,
उनके जैसा इंग्लिश बोलना पड़ेगा. So what
ah,
we are trying to do here is we want you to
yeah,
speak. This is not how you crack interviews. People are
right.
not hiring you for your English speaking skills. They are hiring you for your attitude and what kind of knowledge you have about its subject matter. ठीक है?
But it would depend on the interviewer's mood also, right? Like I read someone's question here. What about how do you, Rishik Datta says, does it also depend upon the interviewer's mood?
So out of let's say 10 interviews, there are two interviews who don't understand this. Okay,
Yeah.
who believes कि नहीं भाई इसको English नहीं आता, I should not hire him.
Mm.
That's okay. There are still more. See this. See, let's first talk about rejection. What do you mean by rejection, guys? When you get rejected in an interview, what do you feel? Can you just write in the comment section? What is rejection for you? If you get rejected from your dream company, what do you feel? Let's make it interesting, guys. Otherwise, I can always talk to Arushi after the session
Yeah.
also. If she has some interview doubts, I can, answer them. Right now, I am having conversation with you. So kindly, whenever I ask you a question,
Self-doubt.
self doubt. Okay. What else? What do you feel? Rahul, Lakshya,
That
Piyush,
we
what do
need
you
to
feel?
prepare more. Hemlata says, I feel I'm lacking skills.
So, for me, rejection is that I got. This is not who like I was. My today's performance got rejected, not me. He didn't
Yeah.
reject me as a person. There is nothing personal between me and my interviewer. If I am rejected in that interview, it just means one simple thing: your performance today was not up to the mark. It doesn't mean that you surely lack some skill sets, or maybe you have lack of knowledge. Maybe your performance was not good enough today.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of rejection. You were not able to perform to your best today in this 30 minutes. You are the same person who was maybe the topper of his college, maybe a gold medalist, or he is very technically skilled. I don't know. You have a personality, you have a skill set. So
Yeah.
don't doubt that just because your today's performance was rejected. How
Yeah.
can you put a question mark on your entire life or entire learnings just because of those 30-40 minutes?
Yeah.
Like it's quite funny if you look at that, right? I used to feel like that. कि यार, I'm rejected. I'm stupid. I don't know the right skill set. And I used to spoil my other interviews also.
Yeah.
Yes, your performance was not proper today. So what did you lack? Improve those things.
Mm.
Right? That's it. It's all about thing. Then if you perform like improve that small mistake, you will do much better in your next interview. Yes, you may get rejected 2, 3, or 4 times, but those are opportunities for you to improve yourself. That's it. So yeah, coming
A lot
back
of
to
people are also mentioning about anxiety issues and everything. So, how do you, when you say that those 30 minutes do not define you, which is very true,
right,
but you don't get a second chance at the same place, right? So,
right,
how do you, and there's a lot of pressure that you have to give your best.
right,
Now, because of that pressure, there's so much of, that's where anxiety triggers. And that's when,
right.
things go down. So what do you do in that situation?
See,
Obviously, after it, you will question, you will doubt yourself, your confidence will go down.
yeah, to be very honest, I don't have a very correct answer to this because I never had anxiety attack. Okay. I
Okay.
had low esteem, I
Hmm.
had self doubt, but I may not categorize into that category.
But
Okay. So
like,
I may not
club
be
it
the
all together.
yeah, but my my methodology to tackle this scenario was I used to accept that I am definitely going to get rejected.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the worst thing that can happen after the interview.
Hmm.
And I know this is going to happen. So
Okay.
what best I can do in these 30 minutes is just go and talk to that person. I never
Yeah.
had, so in the last 3 to 4 years, I never had an interview. I always had a conversation. Like I am talking to Arushi right now. The worst thing is you are going to get rejected. You are going to reject me. That I have
Yeah.
already accepted.
Hmm.
Yeah, I am going to get rejected. So ठीक है इस कंपनी से तो वैसे ही लात खाने वाला हूँ तो कम से कम आधा घंटा बात करके आ जाता हूँ
हाँ.
maybe we may
हाँ.
connect and उसको मेरी शक्ल अच्छी लगे and he may give me the job जो नहीं होता but that's the
So you think of the worst. Okay.
hmm?
Think of the worst that can happen before you even do it.
That was my way to cope it. Okay, because see, I knew I am going to get rejected, so that is the worst thing. So
Yeah.
before entering the interview hall, also I was still the same person at that same position. After
Hmm.
rejection, also I'm the same person at the same position without a job opportunity, without a job offer. So हो गया ना अब आधा घंटा बात करके आते हैं. So this
Hmm.
is how I used to go to interview hall, and to my surprise, I used to enjoy the conversation. So let's
Hmm.
say the interviewer asked me a question, okay, and I
Hmm.
didn't know the answer. So
Hmm.
I used to say, hmm, I don't know the answer. Like, how would you solve this? वो
Yeah.
बताता था. यार, this is really good, यार. I'm impressed. So
Hmm.
it was not an interview. It was more like I'm talking to a guy. He taught me something that I didn't know, and I used to appreciate him. That I got to know something new. Thank you for that. So ठीक है, एक like I got to know a different person. I got to learn new skill. That was my takeaways. So I'm still better than half an hour. I got to know these two things, and I got to meet a better person who is much better than me in skill wise. So that's how
Yeah.
I used to cope.
Yeah. You take the positives, see the positives.
See,
So someone, yeah.
if you want to think negative, there is no end to it. I will see. We all fail. If you see, why do we only take our interviews like interview rejections to have like let's say you are going to a movie and
Yeah.
you miss 10 minutes of that movie. So it is
Hmm.
also a failure. Like failures are everywhere in your life, but
Yeah.
you don't take them as failures or but just because you go to that interview hall you had so much hope you after that interview you just put a mark on you that you are no one, you will
Hmm.
always fail, and you are a it's too much to define yourself
Yeah.
that 50 minutes.
Okay, I read someone on the comment section also asked, and we also received it from the audience yesterday, that how do you explain a career gap? When there's a career gap in your resume, how do you explain that when you question about it in the interview? How do you
So
justify it?
let's do a role play, Arushi. Okay, you are the interviewer, and I'm someone who is here for the job. Okay, and
Hmm.
you ask me like, why do you have a career gap?
Yeah.
Now, whatever is the story or the reason behind it, I cannot change it,
Right.
right? And as an interviewer, you also have seen this that इसको career gap है,
Ah.
right? So there
True.
are two ways to deal it. Number one, you lie about it.
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
If you
Yeah.
lie about it, you are never going to be trusted by anyone.
Ah.
ठीक है?
Hmm.
इंटरव्यू पकड़ लेगा आपका झूठ कुल मिला के.
Ah.
ठीक है?
Okay.
Like these people are not those people जो first time interview ले रहा है.
Hmm.
ठीक है? And most of the candidates lie about those things. And this is where they spoil their impression.
Hmm.
You know that there is a genuine reason, whatever is the reason.
Yeah.
You cannot change, just accept it, na. ठीक है?
Yeah.
I was preparing for my XYZ thing, and
Hmm.
it didn't materialize. I was taking care of my family member, or I had an accident.
Yeah.
Whatever was the reason, just accept it. But
Hmm.
this is the reason. ठीक है? So you are saying that you didn't do anything for those 2 years of your life or 3 years of your life.
Yeah.
The interviewer will not hire you because you were honest. The interviewer will hire you because you have skill set. ठीक है? You
Hmm.
have those 2 years of gap. But after that gap, did you work to get more skill sets? This is where they will judge you.
Okay.
ठीक है? लाइफ में everyone gets setback यार. ठीक है?
Hmm.
Even a cricketer like Dinesh Karthik,
Hmm.
nobody hoped that he will come back to cricket.
True.
Right? Everyone accepted that he is done. He should just retire. But
Yeah.
somehow he didn't lose trust in himself. And there was a big gap in his career. Like that is
Yeah.
also a career gap now. He didn't play any international cricket. So anyone can question him that, for the last 4 years you didn't play any international cricket. How can we hire you? But he was still working on his career. Right? And how can you do that? For example, like I have a career gap. I
Hmm.
meet Arushi on LinkedIn. I ask her that, ma'am, you are manager at XYZ company, and
Hmm.
I have this career gap, but I want to come back to the corporate side. And to do that, I want to add more skill sets to my kitty. So if there is a project in your company, any 2 months, 3 months project, I don't
Yeah.
want to get paid also, but just give me opportunity to work in that project as a live project, as an internship, whatever you call it. Okay. If you text 10 people, 2 to 3 people will definitely reply back and they will give you this opportunity. So let's say you
Hmm.
get opportunity to work at Wipro, TCS. So those
Hmm.
2, 3 projects gets back, like, will help you get that confidence back that you are still the same person who can come back to the corporate side and work with the same level. If you get that confidence back, you have 2 or 3 projects on your things, you have 3, 4 skills. Don't just do certification. Right
Hmm.
now, certifications are like vegetables. You go to the market, you will just get thela bharke.
Hmm.
You open Udemy, Coursera, everyone is doing these certifications.
Yeah.
But until unless you apply that knowledge somewhere to solve a real time problem, it
Hmm.
is not validating. So try to get an opportunity to work with someone. Even let's say few of you guys can today text someone in Coding Ninja and ask for internship. Why not?
Yeah.
Like no one stops you, right? The
Right.
worst thing they can say is no. ठीक है दूसरी
No.
कंपनी में ट्राई करेंगे.
Yeah.
But if they say yes, you will have 2 to 3 months of experience working with some of the best minds, right? So
Yeah.
that's how you improve your profile. And then when I speak about my gap in my interview, I will say, so ma'am, I had these 2 years of gap because I was taking care of my family member or
Yeah.
another reason. However, once I realized that this, like for example, I was preparing for my MBA and
Hmm.
in material. So once I realized that this may not be the best fit for my career, I came back to learning more skills. In the last 6 months, I
Hmm.
acquired these skill sets and worked with these 3 companies.
Right.
So what I am doing is I am taking away the conversation from that gap to what I am today,
Yeah.
because he is going to hire me for my like whatever capabilities I have today. Not
Yeah.
He is not going to hire a person who was XYZ 6 months back, right?
Yeah.
So
Correct.
that's how you cope.
Okay. That was very well put. Okay. So Shivam yesterday asked us, I am not able to speak out whatever I have. I usually plan a lot but mess up in the end. And there were a lot of other questions, which meant basically that when the interview asks you the question, you know the answer, but there are times when you just go blank, or you're not able to structure your answer correctly because obviously you're scared in front of the boss.
See, it is again more about preparation wala part. So
Hmm.
can you just tell me, out of all of you guys, how many of you have written about your experiences on a piece of paper? Like for example, if I ask you introduce yourself, so whatever
Yeah.
you are going to speak in that interview, have you written those things on a piece of paper? Just tell me yes or no. Simple yes or no.
I'll say no first.
Okay. Be honest, guys. Okay, nobody is going to judge you. Like
Yeah.
a person like me who was rejected throughout is who am I to judge you guys?
Maya Joshi is also asking, how do you actually introduce yourself in the interview?
Let me
Prashant
cover
says
this.
no.
Super, guys. Thank you for being honest. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's the problem. If I ask you, Prashant or Praful, that introduce yourself, you will speak an answer today. And if I ask you the same question 6 days later, you will speak a different answer.
Mm.
You don't even know
Yes.
what to speak in an interview. And I'm just asking about you. I'm not asking about your parents or your best friend. I'm asking about you. How
Yeah.
can someone talk better about yourself than you? And you are still having a problem about that, right? So first
Yeah.
of all, you need to write those things on a piece of paper. Number one. Number two, whatever you are writing, is this the right content that you need to speak in an interview? That is also a big, question mark. Why do I say so? So this is a framework that I teach in my bootcamp programs in Think Sage. Okay, this will help you also, Arushi.
Yeah.
So can you introduce yourself, Arushi? Quick question.
I can't. I can't. Don't put this
Okay,
pressure on
whatever
me.
you have,
I don't
whatever
know.
you have, give it a try, na? Chalega.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm Arushi Lal. I'm from Patna, and I've done
Just
my.
a second, just a second, Arushi, just a second, guys. You also write about this answer in the comment box. Like, what will you speak when I ask you introduce yourself, so that we can have a like I
Yeah.
can give you feedback. Okay, Arushi, you go on.
Okay, so I am Arushi Lal. I'm from Patna. I've done my schooling in Patna, and then I moved to Delhi for my graduation. I graduated from Delhi University in History Honors. And then I was working for a bank, after which I switched to Coding Ninjas, and I'm working as a social media executive here.
Okay, super.
That's all.
No, no problem here. Like
Yeah.
nobody is going to judge anyone.
Yeah.
See, this is the right platform to make mistakes, because the
Also, I
more
think
you
this is
make
one of the
mistakes,
most difficult questions to answer.
sorry,
I think this is one of the most difficult questions to answer.
this is difficult because no one has ever taught us what is the right approach. And if you open Instagram also, okay, so there are so many influencers today who are talking about this is the way to talk about your introduction. And
Yeah.
I can write this on paper that 99% of those influencers get this question wrong. The reason is not because they are not effective. The reason is they were also not taught by the best profs who were the best in this field. I didn't learn this until I went for my exchange program in France. So there was this prof from Harvard. He told me what's the science behind this question.
Okay.
Okay. And this is where my life took a turning point. Like this one simple question changed my life. And I am going to disclose this just in few minutes.
Yeah.
But before that, I want few of you or all of you to write about your introduction in the comment section. Let's, take the advantage of this session. Come on, guys.
So Pooja Singh and Pooja Agarwal, a B.Tech graduate in ECE stream from Techno India Salt Lake.
Okay. What about other guys?
Pooja.
Rohan, Abhi, Amya, Bhushan, Piyush. There are so many people. Come on.
I still think that this may not be a very important question in the sense that the interview is, it's just a very a question that is just asked for the heck of it, you know.
So this is the most critical question of the entire interview. If I have to rate all the questions that are going to be asked in an interview, I will
Hmm.
rate this question the most important question, and I am going to tell you why.
Okay.
Just give me another 2 minutes. Few
Yeah.
of you are writing it.
Another answer.
Myself, Weber Tale. I am a BSc Computer Science graduate and also a self-taught programmer. I would like to introduce myself as a coding enthusiast. Okay, super. ठीक है, just another 30 seconds, guys. ठीक है. Superb. I think few of you have answered this. Let me do a role play with Arushi again because
Oh
right
my
now
God.
only Arushi is sitting here. Okay. So Arushi, let's assume a situation where you and I go for a chai. ठीक है.
Oh.
ऑफिस में परेशान हो गए, चलो भाई चाय पी के आते हैं.
Hmm.
ठीक है. या फिर कॉलेज में यार बोरिंग लेक्चर हो गया, चाय पी के
Hmm.
आते हैं. ठीक है.
Hmm.
Sorry guys, I'm a chai person, so I'm talking about chai. If you are coffee guys, so assume that I'm going for a coffee. ठीक है.
हाँ.
And I start to talk about कि आरुषि, जो
Hmm.
क्वांटम फिजिक्स में ये वाला लॉ है ना, इसमें
Hmm.
ऐसे हम एप्लीकेशन लगाते हैं ना, तो क्या होता है दुनिया का वो एक्सपेंशन एंड सम रैंडम थिंग्स. ठीक है.
Okay.
And
Hmm.
let's assume that Arushi and Prashant are both BCom students.
Ah.
ठीक है.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
if I start to talk about quantum physics, what will be your reaction, Arushi?
I will feel like throwing my chai on your face.
ठीक है, that is the inner feeling. But what are you going to do?
I'll be blank. I will not know what to say. I will just keep listening to you. I will probably zone out.
Right.
Because one, I may not be interested in quantum physics because I'm a BCom student. Two, even if I'm interested, I would like to probably know more, but I would
Right.
just be able to listen to you. I will not be able to like have a conversation with you.
ठीक है. Good. Like I agree. Let's assume a different scenario. ठीक है.
Hmm.
We are still going for a coffee, chai. ठीक है. And what's your favorite topic, Arushi? कोई भी कॉलेज का सब्जेक्ट.
You talk about social media, I'm good there.
सोशल.
Just social media in general.
ठीक है. So I start to talk to you about social media. Yeah, right now these kinds of content is not working out. Or
Hmm.
if we check at the analytics, these things are not working out because I think this is the
Yeah.
problem. What
Hmm.
are you going to do? What will be your response to that?
I'll be able to include myself in the conversation. I will be able to give you my inputs as well. Take your inputs and also include it. I mean, able to strategize better basically and talk with you.
Agreed. Agreed.
Interesting conversation. Yes.
You accept this, right?
Yeah, yeah, I do, of course.
Do you also believe, guys, if there is something relevant to talk, then you will also join the conversation. If I go out with you guys for a coffee or a chai, if I talk about, let's say, computer science engineering or like whatever is your stream of expertise, if I talk about those things, you will also join the conversation. But if I speak about, if I start a conversation about a topic which is very irrelevant, you will just get bored. Yes or no?
Yes.
यार इतना डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन भी नहीं है यार. Yes or no लिख दो ना.
I think time आता है वो आने में. Like एक बार में फिर
अच्छा,
पांच
rules
छह आ
and
जाते हैं वो एक बार
latency.
में नहीं आता.
Okay, okay, understand.
See, a lot of people are still answering to the first question that you asked, how to
Okay,
introduce.
okay. I think there is a latency in the chat.
Yeah,
I'm getting some text quite late.
yeah.
Amya says certainly, right? So this is
Hmm.
how your interviews are also supposed to be. Yeah, this is how it happens.
Yes.
Chetan, I
So
think
much
Yahoo page.
answering.
Okay,
Hmm.
Piyush, if you believe it, otherwise you are wrong. Let me tell you, and, and you will realize why. So what happens is whenever the interviewer asks you, introduce yourself, you start to talk about your native place, your college, your stream. Okay, maybe some of you will also speak about your parents. Maybe some
Yeah,
of you will speak about your college, school days. कि मैंने अपना
right.
school यहाँ से किया. Finally, they will say that I am doing like I am working right now in XYZ company. That's it.
Correct.
ठीक है. So all these things are irrelevant for the interview.
Hmm. Okay.
He is not here
Hmm.
for वो अपनी I mean he's not here for dating,
Right.
right? He's not interested where did you do your engineering, where did you do your schooling from, कहाँ से आपने इंजीनियरिंग किया, ये सब उसको मतलब ही
Hmm.
नहीं है यार. आपने बता दिया आपने इंजीनियरिंग यहाँ से किया है, वो तो ठीक है. Okay, so he will not be interested in all those things that you are speaking in this answer.
Hmm.
And what has happened in it, eventually is he got bored. He took that piece of paper that we call
Yeah.
CV or resume. He did
Mm-hmm.
the teeny, 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 took a
Yeah.
random topic and started asking you questions.
Hmm.
Okay. Now let's assume a different scenario. Now I am talking about myself. So my name is Prashant.
Yeah.
Currently, I am heading business development for ThinkSage, where I have completed XYZ projects in the last 3 months and excelled in these two things.
Okay.
Okay. Previously, I
Hmm.
was working in this company as a category manager, where
Hmm.
I was instrumental in adding rupees 60 lakhs of revenue in 3 months. Or let's say if you're a fresher. So I was interning with XYZ company where I was able to create a chat bot which helped my company to get 2000 leads in 6 months. Okay. So what I'm
Okay.
doing is I'm talking about my topmost projects in my
Yeah.
internship or college in my introduction.
Hmm.
So the interviewer, okay, who was just looking at your resume, suddenly he finds something interesting, something relevant, because he is here to hire you as a software developer engineer.
Hmm.
He found
Right.
something interesting. Acha, you just told that you created a chatbot for Wipro which generated 2000 leads in six
Hmm.
months. Can you tell me exactly how did you do that?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
what did you do? See, let's accept in your resume there are 3 or 4 or 5 projects which are very like those projects are those projects where you want your interviewer to go,
Yeah.
right? And there are some other points that we have written just for the sake of writing,
Right.
and we are just praying कि आज interviewer को इन points में मत आने देना,
Hmm.
right? If you leave, you know, if you're leaving this to the interviewer, it will totally depend on your luck, that probability game.
Yeah.
But if you are talking about some interesting projects right in your introduction itself, you are taking away the interest, like that focus of interviewer, and suddenly he will join the conversation.
Okay.
Just like I and Arusi joined the conversation when we were talking about social media analytics and all those things.
Yeah.
Because this is something which is relevant to Arusi. Arusi also likes to talk about these things. This
Right.
is why. So if I talk about cricket, I like cricket. Okay. So even if
Hmm.
we are having a interview and suddenly you talk about cricket, maybe I will take a break of 5 minutes and talk about cricket.
Yeah.
Right. Similarly, you also need to talk about everything that is relevant. Number one. Number two, all those topics that will help you start the interview.
Hmm.
If you
Right.
commit a mistake, it is totally left to the interviewer. He can talk about any random thing. If it is your bad day and your dream company, भगवान बचाए आपको, right? So this is where
Hmm.
you fail. But if I talk about my achievements, all my good projects in the job, in my introduction itself, and the company is here to hire me for that specific skill set.
Right.
Suddenly, he was just looking at my piece of paper and he will stop. Okay, what did you say? Tell me more.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
have it is like a KBC game. You give him 4 options, which has to be interesting for him, and definitely he will pick up one of those options.
Hmm.
I've never had in my entire last 4 to 5 years of experience. I've never had someone who has picked something random after hearing my introduction. I knew what he is going to ask me next. Then
Hmm.
वो इंटरव्यू का पूरा आंसर होने के बाद मुझे कैसे इंटरव्यू को ड्राइव करना है, आई न्यू एवरीथिंग. आई न्यू द एंटायर 50 मिनट्स कैसे मुझे प्ले करना है, एंड दिस इज हाउ आई यूज्ड टू गेट जॉब्स.
Okay.
ठीक है. It is like a
But what
beginning
about what
process.
about what about freshers when they don't have an experience? How do they introduce themselves? They don't have
Come
numbers
on,
to give.
guys. You are saying me that in your college you have not done even a single project worth mentioning in your introduction. You have not done any in any internships. You have not done any coordinating event in your college where you handle maybe 1,000, 2,000 people or 500 people to organize something.
Hmm. Okay.
See, as a fresher, nobody cares about your skill set. Trust me.
Hmm.
आप एक बार
Hmm.
कंपनी ज्वाइन कर लोगे ना, उसके बाद वो पूरा का पूरा आपकी टेक्निकल स्किल्स की वापस ट्रेनिंग कराएंगे. And I remember when I joined my first company, the name of the company was Sapient in Bangalore. The very first day when I entered that hall, those people were just telling us that whatever you have learned in your college,
Hmm.
just do that to the dustbin. You are first going to unlearn, and then you are
Hmm.
going to learn. In the next 4 months, we will give you all the training required for our projects. Okay? College prepares you so that you can learn or grasp any technical skills very quickly. You know how to work with different people. There are so many people from different diversities in our college, right? In our school, we have people only from our city. But when you
Right.
are in a college, there are people from XYZ state.
Right.
You know how to
All
work
over.
with those people. कोई
Right.
लेजी है, कोई स्मार्ट है, कैसे एक टीम में काम करते हो टू
Yeah.
अचीव दैट गोल. दिस इज व्हाट टीच दिस इज व्हाट इज taught in a college. How to be a
Right.
leader. Let's say if I ask Arushi or Pooja or Rohan to conduct an event, out of these
Hmm.
three people one person will take the leadership role कि बॉस हम ऐसे ऐसे करते हैं. दूसरा बोलेगा एक काम करते हैं, इसको ऐसे ब्रेक करते हैं और इस तरीके से ये हम लोग रंगोली का पूरा वो करेंगे, या फिर लेट्स से कोई कॉलेज का इवेंट, डांस इवेंट या any event,
Hmm.
right? So you
Right.
break bigger problems and you break them into smaller things and you find solution. This is what is taught in college, that mindset. If you have that right mindset and attitude, you can eventually work in any company.
Hmm.
I never taught my students to see prepare these answer and this way you can correct maybe Microsoft ka interview or Google ka interview.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, you are just talking to a person. And if you
Right.
can crack that human mind,
Yeah.
irrespective of the country, he is from US, UK, India, or I don't know, whatever, you can
Hmm.
crack any interview. You just need to know what to speak, when to speak, and how much to speak.
Yeah.
Now, when I have to introduce myself, few of you will oversell yourself. एक बार बोलना चालू किया ना, तो 10 मिनट तक बोलते रहोगे.
Hmm.
यू ओवरसेल सर, मैंने ये भी किया वो भी किया, मैंने लाइफ में सब मचाया ही मचाया है. This is where again the interview will lose interest. Or
Yeah.
there was someone, I told him to introduce and he told, I'm a fresher.
Yeah.
If your introduction is I'm a fresher, or Ashish, I am Ashish Sinha, I am from Patna, I have done my schooling in Bokaro, will be doing my B.Tech in BCET, Durgapur. If you are just speaking about this much in your introduction, this means you have not done anything in your life. यार आप स्कूल में भी रहते हो ना, तो आप कुछ
Hmm.
कॉम्पिटिशन में तो पार्ट लेते हो. यू आर इंटरेस्टिंग गाइज, यू हैव डन लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स. अगर आप मेरा लाइफ का प्रोफाइल देखोगे ना, आप बोलोगे यार आपने तो कुछ किया भी नहीं है सर, तो भी आपको कैसे जॉब मिल जाता है. बिकॉज यू एक्सेप्ट दैट आई हैव नॉट डन एनीथिंग, यू गाइस.
Yeah.
एंड आई talk about whatever irrelevant thing. But if I have done with lot of efforts, if I have achieved something out of it, I just talk about it. Like, how do you decide even before talking about those things in an interview कि ये बोलना ही नहीं बोलना? It is not worth mentioning. Uh, Arushi, did you coordinate an event in your college? Any small event or anything?
Yeah. I mean, I was a volunteer for an event. Did not coordinate, but I was a volunteer.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you
Yeah.
do exactly?
So it was a history fest.
Hmm.
So we had to, it was a 3 day fest. So we had to organize events. So we designed things like, if you want to have plays, if you want to have dance, if you want to have mushaira things or a painting thing, exhibition kind of a thing. So all of that was planned and strategized and decided on.
So, like, do you feel that is not worth mentioning?
I've never mentioned it in any of my interviews. Never.
As a fresher, you should mention it. You conducted the entire event working with different people. You planned out different things, and to everything had a specific problem, and you came up with different solutions to solve that problem. Maybe कहीं logistics का problem था, कहीं पे crowd नहीं आया, कहीं पे registration नहीं आया. Everything had a different solution, and you have made sure that entire thing was being taken place at the same time in an effective manner,
Yeah.
and you are managing like n number of people. Come on, guys.
Right.
And you are saying me कि आप लोगों ने लाइफ में कुछ नहीं किया है. यार मैंने अपनी लाइफ में बस टीवी सीरीज देखा था अपने अंडरग्रेड में. उसके बाद भी
Same.
मैं बोल रहा था यार आप लोगों ने तो कुछ तो किया ही है यार. कम ऑन. इज इट
Okay.
मेकिंग सेंस गाइस?
Can we take a few questions from the audience?
Yes, I think that is a good
Yeah. So Amaya is asking, how
solution.
can I display my leadership quality through the interview?
See, you cannot just show a skill set that you don't have just because you want to do it.
Yeah.
If you don't have leadership skill quality or any other quality, बाकी बहुत सारी और क्वालिटीज होती हैं,
हाँ.
तो आप उनके बारे में बोलो ना. वाई आर वी डूइंग दिस भेड़ चाल कि
हाँ.
सबको लीडर्स बनना है बस, सब
Yeah.
हम लोग इलॉन मस्क बनेंगे, टेस्ला खोलेंगे. ऐसा नहीं होता ना. The idea here is, let's say if you have conducted a event, entire event, and you were taking care of each and everything.
Yeah.
There you were managing different number of people. There you, this is where you can talk about your leadership skills. But अगर आपने ऐसा कोई प्रोजेक्ट कभी लाइफ में नहीं किया है, कुछ इवेंट ऑर्गेनाइज नहीं किया है, तो आप झूठ बोल के कोई लीडरशिप क्वालिटी नहीं पैदा कर सकते. But there can be different other qualities like analytical skills, technical skills. You can be very good in your particular XYZ language, whatever coding or Python or Ruby. आपने उसमें बहुत अमेजिंग सा प्रोजेक्ट किया हो. Talk about those things.
Yeah.
You are unique in your own way. Don't try to copy someone else style and replicate in your own profile. So that's my answer.
Okay. I hope Amaya got the answer.
Novel,
Okay.
the
When?
introduction needs to be of at max 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay. There's a question which says, please provide your introduction as a fresher once. If you're a fresher, how do you introduce yourself?
Okay. Uh, so there is this formula that I am giving you today. Okay, use that formula. उस फॉर्मूले का को हम बोलते हैं IAPS. I for internship, A for achievements, P for projects, S for some skill set or strengths that you have. ठीक है. So you start by some normal random introduction वाला thing कि hey, my name is Prashant and I am from Kota, Rajasthan or wherever you are from. बस उससे ज्यादा आपको अपने पेरेंट्स क्या करते हैं, आपने कहाँ से स्कूलिंग किया, आप स्कूल के लिए 10 जगह पे चेंज किए, आपने बीटेक यहाँ से किया, नहीं बोलना है. ठीक है. सो this is not an ice breaking question, by the way, guys. This is not a place where you are going for a dating and you are going to introduce your hobbies. मेरे को ये भी बहुत पसंद है, मुझे चाय भी पसंद है. Here you are going to talk something relevant which will take away the interest of the interviewer and he will be forced to listen to you. यार ये बंदा interesting है. Yeah, this girl is having a very impressive profile. I need to ask question from these two topics. Okay. So first you spoke about your name and your native place. Now you talk about your internship and what exactly did you do in that internship. For example, most of you are from technical background. So
Yeah.
you may say that I have done my internship at Think Sage, where I was assigned to create a landing page for this particular thing, and I was able to create the entire landing page in less than 2 months of time. ठीक है. आपने अभी क्या किया, यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट योर इंटर्नशिप एंड व्हाट एग्जैक्टली डिड यू डू. Why have you done this? Because this will force the interviewer to ask you, okay, you just mentioned about your internship project. Can you tell me more? What did you do? How did you do? And how did you achieve that? So it's a very good conversation point. And since internship was a place where you really worked hard, I hope you have
Yeah.
worked hard. So it's a good way to impress the interviewer right at the start itself.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay? Number one. Then you go to your achievements. When I say
Hmm.
achievement, you don't need to win a city level, state level, national level, international level awards. When I say achievement, it can be extracurricular or academic. You can be topper of your college. You can be कोई particular subject में you got highest marks, or maybe you conducted an entire event. It's also achievement, guys. Out of 50 people, maybe you were selected to conduct the entire event.
Hmm.
So that is an achievement. At least, I don't know if you regard it as achievement or not, but it is an achievement. Okay. Number three, you talk about your projects. In these
Okay.
3 to 4 years of your life, you
Yeah.
might have done 2 or 3 projects where you really, you know, applied all your knowledge and you love doing that, right?
Right.
वेबसाइट बनाया, ऐप बनाया, चैटबॉट बनाया, कुछ सोशल मीडिया पे कुछ मचाया, whatever you have done, talk about those things.
Okay.
In my college, I did these 2 projects. Number one,
Hmm.
I did this and this, जिसमें ऐसा हुआ. Number two, मैंने ये किया जिसमें ये हुआ.
Hmm.
ठीक है. Finally, you talk about your skill sets. I
Yeah.
am highly skilled in Python and Ruby, and
Hmm.
I can I can solve complex problems or whatever in
Yeah.
these languages if given a problem or whatever. See, guys, मैं technically इतना sound नहीं हूँ. माफ करना अगर मैं कुछ गलत बोलता हूँ.
नहीं नहीं समझ गया.
This is
हाँ.
how you talk about your skill set. अगर skill
Yeah.
set नहीं बोलना, strengths के बारे में बोल दो.
Hmm.
लेकिन अगर strength बोलना है तो प्लीज कॉपी पेस्टेड strength मत बोलो कि मैं
Hmm.
लीडर हूँ. ठीक है. मैं
हाँ.
If you really have that skill set, sorry, strength, and you have a life story to back it up, then talk about that strength. So remember this: I A
P.
P S. I call it my formula X. So this is something that was taught to me in
Hmm.
France. कि भाई इतना दिमाग मतलब there is a science. आप ये बोल दोगे ना, what you are ideally doing is you are giving 4 options to the interviewer.
Yeah.
He will definitely pick one of those things. And the interview has started on a positive note on the topic where you wanted your interview to be.
Hmm.
ठीक है.
Makes sense.
अगर इनिशियली इंटरव्यू के 10 मिनट आपने अच्छे कर दिए, देन
Hmm.
यू विल गेन दैट कॉन्फिडेंस. ठीक है.
Yeah. Okay.
नेक्स्ट.
Okay. That was a very nice answer and a good USP. Uh, okay. So Pooja is saying, please talk about short-term and long-term goals that a person having career break should speak. I think you sort of answered that, but you can answer
I
Pooja
mean,
again.
see, like, what do you mean by short term? Because short term has literally changed in the last few years.
Yeah.
Previously, short term used to be for like 3, 4, 5 years, or long term hota tha 10, 20 years.
10,
But
20, yeah.
today, people change companies in within 1 to 2 years.
Yeah.
So
That's
there is very, I mean, you have to use those cliches answer that I want to gain more skill set in this position and be a
yeah.
realistic goal. Like I want to become the team lead in the next 2 years, 3 years, acquiring these XYZ skill set or whatever. And in the long term, I want to lead the entire team. And there are those cliched answers only. There is like ideally these questions should be totally flushed now.
Hmm.
Like no point asking these stupid questions. But ठीक है, अगर
Yeah.
पूछ रहे हैं तो you have to give those cliched answers only.
Yeah. But then I
And
think we before we sit for an interview, if we have a career gap, we expect that it will be questioned. So we try to frame an answer.
career break is a different you know uh, problem statement. It's okay. Like
Hmm.
nobody is going to join these 2 questions. Career
Yeah.
break, mein, they are just going to ask you why do you have a career gap, and
Hmm.
they will check if you have the right skill set now to join that company.
Okay.
ठीक है. लॉन्ग टर्म एंड शॉर्ट टर्म गोल्स इसलिए पूछ रहे, दे वांट टू सी व्हाट इज योर मोटिवेशन.
Mm.
Are you ambitious enough to grow in your career, or do you just want to join that company? ठीक है, हर महीने वो फ्री का सैलरी आएगा, चिल मारेंगे रिटायरमेंट तक. They just want
Mm.
to see your motivation. If you are someone who wants to become team lead, manager, and grow in the company, this is the kind of people, who will help company grow.
Okay.
ठीक है. If See, there are two kinds of people. People who will just stay there and do nothing, and there are people who are ambitious who will do smart work. They want to
Mm.
just see if you are that smart person. Okay.
So there's a interesting question. Rishabh is asking, so I have less than 60% in academy. May I know how to get job in TCS? So I mean, basically, a lot of people would ask, I don't have good grades. My numbers are not very good.
Okay.
How do I get a good job, a good company?
See, again, आपने अपनी लाइफ में बहुत पाप किए हैं. ठीक है. आपने 10th में कम मार्क्स सिक्योर किया है, 12th में सिक्योर किया, आप उसको अगेन, जैसे करियर गैप होता है, वैसे आप उसको चेंज नहीं कर सकते. So let's accept this.
Yeah,
You cannot have that time machine and go back and find those question papers and.
true.
ठीक है. So
Hmm.
the only way to tackle this question is accept your mistake, but then talk about how you are a better person now. If you are the same person, you know, that person who used to ignore your studies and उसको फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता. If you were the same person, then the company is definitely not going to hire you. Even if you come to think sage and if you ask for an internship, मैं भी बोलूँगा बस भाई ना हो पाएगा. ठीक है. बट इफ यू आर समवन जिसको ठीक है स्कूलिंग में कम मार्क्स आया या कॉलेज में कम मार्क्स आया, but now you have acquired skill set, you have done few good projects that tells that you want to change yourself, change your life, and you are highly skilled, then nobody cares what you were 5 years back, 10 years back. People are giving you job for what you are today,
Hmm.
although they will negotiate based on what you were 5 years
Right.
back,
Right.
but they will not never judge you on your skill sets 5 years back. I mean, no one, until unless someone is not like proper, like he's not knowledgeable enough to take proper interviews, he will have those patent mindset. But anyone who is logical, who wants to
Hmm.
hire smart people, they will always hire someone who can do a difficult task in a much shorter time than someone else. For example, in my college, ठीक है, एक कहानी सुनाता हूँ जल्दी से, ठीक है.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I was a 9 pointer, like I told you, but I was very
Yeah.
dumb. ठीक है. Like for some people, it's easy to secure marks, but they are not smart enough. I was among those kinds of people. Okay, कि आ जाते हैं and everyone used to ask यार इसको कैसे आ गए. And there were few people, even my roommate, they used
Yeah.
to always score less marks than me.
Yeah.
And I always used to, like trust them, their technical skills या their knowledge much more ahead than me. क्योंकि मुझे तो सच्चाई पता था.
Hmm.
ठीक है. And when the placement started happening in my college, ठीक है, I was getting shortlisted in every interview because of course I had a good percentage, but I
Yeah.
didn't know how to communicate those things in an interview, and I was getting rejected. My
Okay.
friend who had 6 CGPA, I was
Yeah.
9, he was at 6. In his तो पहले 10 कंपनी में तो उसको शॉर्टलिस्ट आया भी नहीं. And I was shortlisted everywhere. 11th company में उसको shortlist आया. For some reason he didn't get selected. 12th
Hmm.
company he got placed with a very amazing package. ठीक है.
Okay. Hmm.
जितना मेरे को पैकेज मिला था इवेंचुअली उससे 2 गुना पैकेज में वो गया था.
Wow.
ठीक है. सो आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि आप लोग भी कम मार्क्स सिक्योर करो, बट
Hmm.
द आइडिया इज जो चीज आप बदल नहीं सकते उसको लेके रोने का फायदा नहीं. आप
नहीं है.
अभी क्या कर सकते हो, अपने प्रेजेंट को कैसे चेंज कर सकते हो, लेट्स वर्क ऑन दैट. राइट. एम आई मेकिंग सेंस और सब ऊपर से जा रहा है कुछ भी रैंडम बोल रहा है यार.
नहीं नहीं, यू आर मेकिंग सेंस. ऑडियंस से भी पूछ लेते हैं एक बार. A lot of people are thanking you also, saying that it's a very informative session.
Super guys, I hope I was able to add value in your lives. And,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, feel free to connect with me on Instagram. Like our page name is Think Sage. If you have so for any technical guidance, like no, like there is no company better than Coding Ninjas. So आपको पता है what you need to do. But
Yeah.
after your technical skills. If you want to learn how to use them in your interviews or how to negotiate your salary, LinkedIn में कैसे job
Yeah.
चाहिए, so you can
Hmm.
follow our Instagram page ThinkSage, or maybe follow us on LinkedIn or YouTube. Anyway,
Thank you so much, Prashant. It was a
thank you.
very, very informative session, and I mean, you actually gave us the science, as you say, the science behind certain questions and why it is asked. So, thank you for joining us. And to the audience, thank you guys for joining the live. And I hope your questions have been answered, and I hope you feel better about preparing and taking an interview. So, Prashant, if you want to add something.
Thank you so much, Arushi and Coding Ninja team. I really enjoyed the session, and thank you guys. You were quite engaging in the comment section,
Yeah,
and it makes my job easier, to explain different things, because
right.
either आपको समझ में आएगा, either आपको नहीं समझ में आएगा. But
Hmm.
if you keep interacting with me, it
Yeah.
also motivates me to put my 100%. So I hope I was able to add value in your interview skill sets, and thank you, Coding Ninjas team and Harushi, for inviting me for this interactive session. Thank you guys.
Our pleasure. Thank you so much, Prashant, again. And thank you to the audience for being so engaging. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Prashant.
you guys. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye, 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 everyone. See you soon.